everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Ruckus Room. I'm so happy to have Miss Melissa with Guidance 311 back to welcome us into this crazy new year. Uh, and I think the universe is redoing everything in the first of the year, correct? I feel it. I don't know about you, but I feel it, Miss Melissa.
Well, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for having me back. I'm excited to be here, and yes, we're definitely in a new year. This year is going to be very different, very different. 2025 was a 9-year numerologically, so that's all about endings and letting things go, and now we're in a number 1 year, and so it's going to be important to be really, really kind of open open to possibility because a number 1 year is all about new beginnings. It's all about restarting. It's all about moving forward. But this first year, it's not just going to be leadership. It's not just going to be taking action. It's not just going to be being the creative force. It's also going to bring in the shadow. So the number 1 year that we really need to look at is your ego. It's no way, or your way or the highway is going to be this attitude that really gets amplified because it needs to be let go of. So there's going to be a lot of people and relationships in your life where you kind of like step back a little bit because you realize that they are not willing to compromise or work with you. And so this is going to be really your chance to see this and say, I see it, and not really push against it, just kind of remove yourself. So the shadow of this number 1 year, I think, is the thing that people really need to look at, because it's easy to get excited about new beginnings and things coming in and taking action, like we're ready to go. But there's also going to be this other aspect where the shadow of the numerological number 1 year is also going to show up. So being really careful about being impatient. Impatience is going to be, I think, a big energy that's going to be out there. Let me go, let me move, let me, now, funny enough, I have a story. So, I am a walker. That is my mode of exercise. And so when I need to do things, I take off. And I can't tell you how many times in a store that my daughter's literally grabbed my arm and been like, Mom, you just mowed over that little old lady. What little old lady? She's like, exactly. You never saw her. So I think that's what we have to be careful of this year. Are we being impatient? Are we not being allowing people in situations in our life to maybe go at their own pace or go slowly because we're so ready to like get out there and let's go, and I'm ready for my new, and I'm ready to take charge. But are you not really seeing where you're going? Are you not really looking? So patience and grounding is going to be the crucial practice this year for everybody, to really embody getting out in nature, getting your feet in the sand, in the soil, gardening, getting out and letting by the sea, by lakes, by water. Like, this is going to be a really good year to really connect with Mother Gaia to help with all of these energies that are going to come at us, that are going to make us be impatient, or try to take action when you're not really ready because you haven't done your homework, or you don't really know all the different perspectives, and you're just ready to take charge. So the other reason you're going to feel this way is because it's in the Chinese New Year. It's the fire horse energy. So the horse is bringing you freedom, motion, ambition, and independence. And the fire energy is bringing you passion, urgency. And it's that urgency and that impatience, I think, that's going to catch a lot of us up.
Well, not for nothing, but 2025, I personally feel everybody needed to touch grass. I still feel that way in the universe with everything going on. Uh, I was very patient last year. I'm kind of not wanting to be patient again, though. So, are you telling me this is going to last another 3, 4 months, 6 months?
What? So honestly, the year of the fire horse actually starts February 17th. And so this first 4 to 6 weeks of this year, it really is still does kind of feel like
The
the nine
limbo.
year, and yeah, and the snake year of shedding and letting go of and releasing. So a lot of that energy is still here. You're really going to feel things taking off more towards the mid to end of February. And so right now, this is a really good time to hermit. This is a really good time to get into the void. What do I like to do? What do I want to put my focus and attention on? And anything that's coming at you that's wanting or needing your attention, be really cautious about why that is, because they've already hit the urgency energy. And when you're doing anything out of urgency, that's fear energy. And that's always going to go wonky some way, shape, or form. So you want to be careful about anybody that's coming at you with this fear of I've got to get it done now. I've
Yeah,
got
I
to
feel
have it
like we're starting
now.
to see that in society. If this is all escalating from society too, I feel like the last few weeks have been a little bit crazy. We talked about that on the show earlier. It's been a little bit insane. But so this whole thing about taking your time and waiting until February 17th, is this shaping us for the next 9 year cycle? Is what you're saying? Or is it just like a temporary?
I would say 3 years. I would say 3 years. I
Oh,
know that, from now until 2032, there's going to be a lot of revelations in the collective. There's going to be a lot of things coming out, secrets being revealed, a lot of I think what you're going to be seeing in the collective, in powers that be, in the governments and whatever, what have you, you're going to start seeing things being revealed that they've never really want revealed. And I feel like it's going to come out very unexpectedly. And I feel like we, as citizens of the universe, of Earth, spaceship Earth, we're all one people. We have to be careful to react, to not react. So really trying to stay in that zone of neutrality, because there's different timelines that you can get on, right? And we always want to be in the highest timeline, the most probable timeline for our best outcome, whether it's personally or as a collective. And so if you can stay in equanimity, if you can stay in neutrality, if you can stay in your own personal joy, like, you'll be able to ride those higher timelines. It's going to take you where you want to go and not get caught up in all of that garbage that's being revealed. And it has to be revealed so we can release it as a vibration of this earth and this time that we're in on this earth, which is why we're here, to raise the frequency. So we're not just raising the frequency for ourselves, but we're also raising the frequency for the planet, because Mother Gaia is also ascending.
well, this is also, you raised a really good point with everything going on in the world and stuff. Like, and things are starting to come out now, and people are starting to lose it just because they don't know how to handle some of the stuff that's coming out. We've talked about this on another show. Um, with that being said, should we keep bracing ourselves the next year for a lot more that's to come out in
I
terms
think
of,
just be
and how
prepared.
do
Yeah,
people
I
deal
think
with
just
that?
you see it, you see it's happening, you get the news. Also, you want to be careful where you're getting your news. What's their perspective? How are they skewing it? Are they trying to be fear
Are you
mongers?
talking
You want
about
to
the
be very
fake news?
discerning. Yeah,
The
that would
fake
be it.
fake
That would be
news?
it. That would be it. So yeah,
Yeah.
so you want
So
to be
yeah.
discerning. Like, watch it. Sometimes I turn it on honestly just to see like how crazy they're getting with it, right? How far off the deep end they're going with it. But you want to be aware. You'll always want to be aware, but be discerning and just try to stay neutral. Like, I see that we went and we snatched Venezuelan's president, but I'm not going to get scared that now we're going to war, right? I'm just going to stay neutral in that, okay, that happened. Let's see where it goes. And I'm going to stay in my body, in my heart, working with my guides to say, I'm good. My house is good, and it's not being naive. It's not being naive. What it's being is, I'm going to stay centered and grounded, and that's going to help shape those other energies. So if we as a planet stayed in fear, then we probably would be in World War III. But if the most
Yeah.
of us, or even half of us, can stay in this higher vibration of like, okay, I see it happening, but I'm not going to buy into worst case scenario. I'm going to stay in the energy of it's all working out for my highest and greatest good. I see it, but I'm not going to buy into it, right? Energetically. And so it's
Yeah.
it's not about being naive and saying it's, pie in the sky, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen as long as we stay in this vibration of love. As long as we're showing compassion to each other and we're living our life out of this place of joy for whatever's going on in our own lives, right? When I feel like I'm overwhelmed and I see what's going on in the collective or in the world or even in my country, and I'm like, eek, this doesn't feel good. I get on the floor and paint with my granddaughter, right? Because that energy that we are creating together, that's what's going to keep the energy of the world or my country, right, elevated so that that worst case scenario doesn't happen.
So, what piece of advice would you give people that are watching a visceral reaction come out of another side and have it affect them because it's so real and it happens so quick? What kind of advice would you get them besides to go touch grass that could help
Not
them
to stay in it. Of
energetically?
course, we have emotions. We're
Yeah,
emotional beings, right? So we see something on the news and it scares us or it jolts us or it makes us mad, right? Whatever it is.
yeah.
Having that knee jerk reaction, that's not going to bring us down, right? If you stay in it for days and weeks and months, now we need to get concerned, right? But just having that knee jerk reaction is fine as long as you don't stay in that energy.
How about the
Go find
spirits and
something fun to do.
mediums? Exactly. The spirits that you've been talking to, have you noticed a shift or a difference in them, the way they're coming in with this new energy change and this new level going back into a 1 year universe?
I think if anything overarching, I feel like they're coming in stronger. It's like they're also ready to get to work and work with us. I feel like there's a lot of the healing element, healing energies out there that are coming in. So whether it's your galactic brothers and sisters, whether it's the archangels or, whoever you tune into, even your crossed over loved ones, they're bringing in healing because that's what we need. In this energy of ascension, especially for this decade that we're in from it started in 2022, 2023 to 2032. This decade of ascension is really important for us to continue to work on releasing any dense or negative energy that we're holding on to personally, because that is also going to release dense energies from Mother Gaia and the collective.
So you're
So a
saying the
lot of
people
healing out
that
there.
I was going to say, there's a lot of, I don't want to get political, but a lot of left healing that needs to be done, right, Alan? When they come on my feed, Miss Melissa, I feel like typing in, you should go touch grass. And then if I
Do
say
it.
that, which I have, I actually
What do
said
they
that
do
to a
it?
family member who attacked me last week about my view. And I think it's funny because they literally attack me. I don't come after them, they come after me. And you go touch some grass. And it pisses them off even more when they come after you even more. And it's so funny. It's like everything I've been through, I don't have the energy to go sit there and do this with you right now or in life. We're all adults and we can all have conversations. The problem is having a conversation and then acting on it in a negative way. And that's the problem. It's getting so out of hand that it's negatively infecting people because it's taking out people. It's literally doing stuff and we're physically seeing it now. Whereas it wasn't as bad before. I feel like, and I'm hoping with all this stuff that's coming out now that we didn't want to come out, it's going to have to force change because a lot of the stuff is going to be changed around, which
Yeah,
that's how God
absolutely.
wants
And
it to
that's
be.
That's it. That's it. The only way for us to get into the light is to have the darkness revealed and to be able to then transmute the darkness. And so that's why I feel like, in the higher dimensions, all of these beings, angels, your galactic brothers and sisters, like they're coming in to kind of hug us, like we've got you, like you're going to get through this, right? But you've got a lot of people out there that they want to buy into the hate and they want to buy into the let's be contentious, let's fight this out, right? And that's the old paradigm of the patriarchy and the competition energy that we've been in for the past couple of hundreds of years. And so it's taking a really long time. And funny enough, it's not even it's actually taking much less time than they thought it would, being the, you know, higher dimensional beings that are kind of in this process with us. We're actually going through it faster than they thought we would. But that
We
also
also have
means
a
that
president
this,
who's all about business. He likes to take care of stuff too. So he wants to
he's a
get it
light
in and
worker.
done. He
That's
is.
what he's,
He doesn't sleep.
he's chaos.
I
He is
wish I
creating
had.
chaos.
Yeah, I wish I had a
It's
third of
good.
his
It's a good thing.
energy. Yeah,
Oh, I
because
don't
he
know how
just
he does
wants
it
to get
either.
done. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I look at the bigger pictures of things now. God put him in that office for a reason on a second term in between. And even Alan said it before. It was to let him have time to do it even better the second time. It was to give him that extra time to see what he needed to do. And when he came in, it's just bump, 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 and he's just nonstop. So with the world peace, with a lot of different things going on, I'm going to be curious to see what happens with Iran and different things. But and he said he'll step in, so we'll see how that goes. But as a medium, with all of this going on, what kind of guided practices can you do to help individuals that are struggling and that will reach out to you?
Well, let's talk about the individuals who won't reach out to me. Let's talk about the people who are in that contention and want to do the fighting, right? They're still in that very warlike competition, patriarchal energy, right? What can we do to help them? And the best thing we can do to help them is on the energetic level of praying for them or working with their higher selves in meditation. And so you can positively affect negative people in your life without having to have a hard conversation with them or have that fight with them. And so, and the other thing too is when you're speaking with people who want, you can feel that energy coming off them. Like they're just waiting.
They
to
just
fight,
want to
right?
fight.
They're just,
Yeah, they're just waiting to
they
fight.
just want to have that argument because they
Yeah.
need their ego validated. That's what that's all about. But what you can do is if you drop down into your heart and literally speak from your heart, they're still not going to like what you say, but it takes that element of the fight out. Like they're at least hearing what you have to say. They may not still agree with you, but maybe, just maybe, you get to plant a seed, right? You get to give them a kernel, a nugget, something to gnaw on that they can think about and take away from the conversation. But if you're coming from your ego and your mind, which is fear-based, that's all they feel, and that's when the fight is on. So if you're in a conversation, whether it's a loved one or someone you don't even know, but you can feel that fear coming off of them, and you know they're just waiting for you to say that one thing where they can pounce on you, drop down into your heart. And if you need to, you can put your hands on your heart to help your energy to drop down into your heart, and then speak from that place, because you'll actually see the confusion on their face because they don't know how to respond. You're saying the exact same thing, but the energy of it shifted.
Yeah.
And then they don't know what
So
to do.
my whole touch grass theory wasn't as direct as it should be. I gotta pray next time when I say it. It's just so, it's the visceral reaction, the fast reaction, we gotta attack you, and it comes at you quick. And unless you're mentally prepared or physically prepared for it, sometimes it's like, how are we family? Like, how are we friends? Like, in public we could do our own thing, but we can agree to disagree and without us having to take each other out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy. I really
It
hope. Do
is.
you?
It is. But, that fear that's coming at you, and especially when they're talking about political conversations, 9 times out of 10, it's not even about the policy or the issue. It's more about what they've got within them that they just want to dump out onto someone else.
Yeah,
So that's why if
deflection
you
is a
can be
big thing.
compassionate or you can be neutral, it really does help the situation, especially if it's a family member. And when one of the things I will say, when you've got someone really wanting to attack you and they give that visceral reaction, it really takes you aback. I would literally physically step away, because what that's going to do is it's going to kind of pull your energy field away from theirs so that you don't have to take on everything they're throwing at you energetically.
And sometimes it's even as seen as a comment that she wrote on there, oh, ICE is going to come after me now. And I said, for what? I'm like, okay. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense because they're so angry. It doesn't even make sense. The logic is gone. And like I told Alan, I just want common sense to get restored in 2026. I just want to calm it down a little bit, tone it down, and common sense is restored for all humanity and everybody.
Well, it may take a little bit longer than just 2026.
Yeah,
However,
dang, man. I was hoping we'd get there
however,
sooner than later.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, unfortunately,
This does
this
not look
fire horse
promising.
energy is not going to get you the calming energy that you would like, because, the horse energy is motion, ambition. Fire energy is passion, urgency, heat, drive. Like, yeah, this is why it's going to be really important for you, who's very aware of your energetic state, to be very aware when you're in conversations with other people or in any kind of a group, that you have to hold your energetic field in the neutrality or the equanimity and let them do what they're going to do. But sometimes all we can do is be the model. We can kind of show people how to have an intelligent conversation, or we can show people how not to react, and that's a much more productive interaction or exchange than if we're just yelling at each other and nobody's listening.
Well, I want to ask you this question. It's a little, well, it's on the topic, but how do you see the midterms going this year or next? Yeah. How do you see that like panning out?
Since I have
Like, because
no idea what you're
history
talking
shows that.
about,
Oh, okay.
so what I would say is, do you have some
I'm
names
trying,
you're
Alan.
thinking
I'm
about?
trying. I'm trying to get something. I just want to see, like, I just want, I don't want history to keep repeating itself number wise, you know?
No, and that's what I mean. One of the things I was going to say about Trump is the reason he's getting things done as fast as he is because he knows he's got a finite timeline. Like when he's
Yeah.
done, he's done. There's no coming back, right? So I feel like he really is trying to get the most bang for his buck. I also feel like
No
it's
more third
taking a toll
term.
on his health.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And I think that's something as light workers we can do is pray for him to help him energetically, because I do feel like he has having some health effects to this
Oh,
rigorous
I'm sure.
schedule
It's
that he keeps for
crazy.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, but the thing is, until the political system is completely overhauled, and that's going to be down the road, that's not going to be this year. All we can do is hold the light, hold the energy, and more is going to be revealed, and things are going to get a whole lot more chaotic before they get calmer. And so
Oh,
that's why we
my.
have to hold the light. Yeah.
Well, everyone start holding those white candles and touching grass and just, you know, I wish the biggest change for me was going back to church after Charlie Kirk and finding a
Mm.
nice home and just being grounded with that. And it helped me a lot uh, so far. I implore everybody to go do that. Find something spiritually that you enjoy or
I was going
people
to
you
say,
like to
even
be
if you're
around.
not, religiously inclined,
Yeah.
religion is rules, right? Spirituality is connection to source, connection to the divinity within you. And whatever that looks like for you. Yeah, I agree, Chrissy. And I think that's great that you have found something that you really resonate with, because I think that's important. The faith piece is so important for really knowing that we're not alone, we're not in this alone, not to be afraid of these man-made chaos engines that are out there, right? And really allow ourselves to know that we have everything we need within us to stay safe, to manifest what we need, and we can manifest the highest probable timeline, which is peace, which is love, which is unconditional love. And we can do that together. And through faith, through whatever your practice is, your spiritual practices, meditation, church, religion. I mean, one of my spiritual practices is going to Al-Anon. That's really important for me. And so whatever your spiritual practice looks like, do that. And don't feel like you're right or you're wrong. And the other thing is, don't judge anybody else's spiritual practice. We got to get out of this judging each other, and we got to get into more alignment with acceptance. And what you do works for you, and what I do works for me. And if we could do that we would really shift a lot of the energy that's out there that wants us to butt up against each other.
I, I even have a daily devotional every day I read now. The
Mm,
gratitude journals and all that stuff. You got me like into this whole other path since I've been sick, and I'm very grateful for it. Um,
you're welcome.
one last thing, can you pull a card?
Yeah.
We'll see where craziness is going in the world right now.
Yeah. So let's do the Archangel message, Guardian Angel Messages by Radley Valentine. So for the listeners, what is the most beneficial messages for those who will be watching now and in the future? Meditation, recuperation, contemplation. Look at
Goes
that,
with the
laying right
theme,
there on the
man.
ground. Yeah,
It must be
there it
real.
is. Yeah. Yep. So, take time out. And I think as Americans especially, but as people who are, mothers and fathers and caregivers and workers and having careers and having a full life. Like the hardest thing for us is to not do something, right? To sit down, to be quiet. So I really feel like this year it's going to be so important to take the time that you need to recuperate and to really find things that bring you joy and help you to center and ground yourself into who you are. Because one of the things that has come out in a couple of readings I've done on my own channel is that we're all being brought back to ourselves. We're all claiming parts of ourselves that we have lost or have been taken from us. And so it's going to be a very energetically rich year of a lot of energy going on within us. And so you may find yourself feeling tired, feeling overtaxed, feeling stressed out. And you're like, I'm not doing anything. I don't know why I feel this way. And it's because you're having that part of yourself that you lost come back. And so now we have to reintegrate those parts of ourselves. And that is going to take a lot of energy. And transmuting through Mother Gaia is really going to be beneficial for those of you who are really reclaiming this year. So, yes, definitely learn how to take a minute, take a breath, take some time, but find enjoyment no matter what you're going through. Very important.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I want to let all the listeners know that if you go on Miss Melissa's Guidance 311 site, we're going to go ahead and put it with the podcast tonight, the link, and you put the Ruckus Room code in, you get, is it 15% off your reading?
15% off an hour angelic guidance reading with me, yes.
Without an expiration date, which is great to have. So if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, she is wonderful. I've known her for years. A lot of good insight. And are you still doing Tarot Tuesdays? I have to tell everyone to go and check out your accounts.
I think they're back.
Oh,
so,
yay!
Yeah, I finally got my Facebook verified. So hopefully the hacking and the page stealing and all that was going on, we're done with. So I can now go live on Facebook and YouTube on Tuesday nights.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Melissa, for joining us tonight. And we'll have you back on soon. Maybe we'll take some live calls.
All right. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us in the Ruckus Room. We'll see you next week.